Judges, fellow Aggies, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, my name is Matthew Furby and my oratory topic is the investment. Now, investment can be defined as an act of devoting time, effort, or energy to a particular undertaking with the expectation of a worthwhile result. Time, effort, energy. All three words that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. understood we needed. We being the black community from then until now and forevermore, and needed in the most extravagant way it can be coined as necessities to survive as black people. Now, I believe this is most evident in Dr. King's words that flooded the Lincoln Memorial August 28, 1963. From his I Have a Dream speech, he said, I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Also saying, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. Now, I didn't know Dr. King personally, but I'm sure he wasn't a selfish man. So when he said his four children, he meant all children. And when he said Alabama, he meant the whole nation. And as we all know from various news outlets, that the innocent of our people can't even get a break. They look at our youth as tainted before they even know the evils of this world. And after rereading the I Have a Dream speech, I said, we would be so better off if they just considered the content of our children's character. The content of character, the makeup of who they are, the reason why they exist. But then I asked, would they be better off? And then my mind began to search itself to ways to measure this character that Dr. King spoke of. And I came up with education, exposure, and empowerment. Now, Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So, as a people who aspire for a better tomorrow, surely our people's future, our children, are excelling in education. College Board statistics show that black students make an average of 100 points less on the SAT in reading and math than their counterparts. Standardized testing, one may argue. Well, what about the fact that only 2 out of every 10 black fourth graders is proficient in math? The school system wasn't designed for us, you may say. Well, how about Child Trends research finding that at age 2, black children have a decreased proficiency level in early vocabulary, shapes, colors, letters, numbers, etc. What do we say then? Who do we blame? It's as if we're waiting until they turn a certain age to say that there's a problem. Well, next is exposure. What do our children know outside of the classroom? What can they regurgitate about their experiences in their young lives? A teacher I know once told me a story about her class, and the demographic of the class was minorities and coming from low-income households. And she asked the children, what did you know? What did you do today? What did you learn? And one of the boys in her class said, why are you asking us? And she responded, because I'm interested in knowing what attracts you, what caught your attention. And the little boy heartbreakingly said, my mama and daddy don't ask me that. That's white people stuff. And though that's only one story, it's the reality of a lot of our children in many variations. And it made me ponder, what are we giving them to aspire about? If we don't ask them, we don't know what attracts them. And then how are we enhancing those interests and likes to strengthen the content of who they are? Maybe it's empowerment, the third one, right? Maybe they understand and are comfortable enough with themselves to not only do what they must do to have a better tomorrow, but are so infectiously enthusiastic they encourage those around them to do the same. Some are familiar with the doll test, but for those of you who aren't, the doll test asks 5-year-old children to identify dolls with various words and traits. One doll being white and one doll being black. Now, the white doll got identified with words such as good, nice, smart. But the black doll got associated with bad, ugly, and dumb. What does this say about self-perception at the tender age of 5? How are they getting these ideas? And further, who is combating these ill ideologies? Or are we just hoping for a turnaround later? So again, I ask, would we be better off if our children were no longer judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character? Academically, we are waiting to blame someone else for our children's shortcomings. We are waiting for them to find out, our children, what they want to do so that they can do it without our guidance, without our help, and without our support, along all with a poor self-identification. What does that yield? Are people waiting for someone else to do the work? Waiting for someone to fix the problem, waiting for the time, waiting for the effort, waiting for the energy. I go as far to say as waiting on our 40 acres and a mule. Waiting to make the investment. The investment to ensure that they thrive in the classroom. The investment to know at a young age what they want to be. And so we can find out what the steps they need to get there and how to assist them. And most importantly, while they succeed, they're taking their community to a better place. If we don't make this overdue investment, then we can be confident that adults like us will continue raising children like them to be adults like us, waiting for someone else to give us what we need. Time, effort, energy. A raindrop starts a flood, a snowflake starts an avalanche, and a seed bears a harvest. Make the investment so that what we need can be attained by our children, so that our children can overcome the stereotypical outcome, so that our children's character content will be so strong no one dare wrongfully identify them, so that our children will not be adults like us, but rather what Dr. King hoped would one day be achieved. Them holding hands with all people as equals and not inferiors.